Have you been wanting to learn how to 360 on your skis? This week, I partnered with Level 9 and went out with Katie, one of the L9 employees, to give her some tips and tricks on something she's been wanting to try, a 360.
Hello and welcome back to the nacforaventurer YouTube channel. My name is AJ Cutler and we are out in the field today at Brighton Resort. We're going to teach Katie here how to do a 360. So thank you so much for being here, Katie. If you just want to tell us a little bit about your skiing background and what you do for Level 9, why you're here, let's hear it.
Yeah, I grew up in Maine, skiing on the East Coast, mostly at Sunday River, but never was much of a park girl, so we'll see how today goes. And yeah, I work for Level 9 on the marketing team. I do email marketing, website content, maintenance, stuff like that.
Great, I'm super psyched to have Katie here. We're gonna take her up to the park, hit the baby park, get some jumps in, and we're gonna learn how to spin. First, we're gonna do a couple drills on the ground, like with just our cute shoes on, pan to shoe. We're just gonna do a couple drills in the parking lot first, and then we'll get our gear on and head to the hill. Yes. We found a flat level ground to kind of practice on. I normally spin to the left and Katie here spins to the right. We're just gonna do some standing 360s and kind of get our body oriented to doing the spinning motion. Cue spinning montage.
When practicing standing 360s, start by getting low into an athletic stance. Feet should be about hip distance apart and legs should be ready to hop up. This will help mimic the pop that you need to initiate that spin. Try spinning both ways to see which way feels most natural. Katie started out going to the right, but once she switched, she found that she had an easier time spinning to the left. Now that we've practiced the motion, it's time to add in our equipment. As far as skis go, note that it is easier to spin with a free ride style ski with twin tips or partial twin tips. I personally have the Liberty Genesis 101s, and Katie has the Dynastar M Free 99s.
We're geared up, we got our ski boots on, got our skis, and we just found another flat ground to practice some standing 180s with our skis on. Kind of get used to the weight of our skis, the weight of our boots, all of our gear on us, so we're ready.
Yeah.
Ready to test it out. And we're gonna try spinning both ways again, see which way feels most comfy.
This is a really good time to practice that wide athletic stance and popping up off the ground. It'll also help you adjust to the weight of your skis and your ski boots. Begin by spinning just 90 degrees and then work your way up to that full 180. Next up, let's get to the hill. It's best to start out on smaller jumps and work your way up.
We made it to the Pee Wee Park. We've found some little jumps, but before we start spinning, we're gonna try and practice some popping, because popping and starting your rotation correctly is what's gonna get you to a 360. We're just gonna practice. When we're popping and coming up to the jump, we're gonna be in the squat, athletic stance again. And as we're coming up, we're just gonna practice popping straight on first. Just as we're reaching the top of the lift, jump up and extend our legs. Give us a little pop. And just nice and sturdy. And even if you want to have your hands out,
As we practice popping, we also want to factor in another part of a successful pop, leaning forward into our boots.
you just want to make sure that you're leaning forward. Because when we're coming up to the jump, the lip is gonna push us back. Our skis aren't gonna be parallel to the ground. They're gonna be like this. And so when we lean forward, it's gonna compensate and push us onto the landing. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So leaning forward is also something to just think about every time we're going off any sort of air. So yeah, leaning forward into our boots, popping up just before the lip so we can get the maximum out of it. Okay.
If you're trying a new jump, first start by popping off the knuckle to get an idea of the speed and the pop needed. Now that we have a pop, it's time to add the spin. As you pop off the lip of the jump, rotate your hips backward. 180s are a little more difficult in the sense that you're landing backwards, but it's still a great way to learn how to move your body while airborne. As with every step in this process, I want to remind you that it took a lot of practice. Katie and I hiked the park over and over and over again in order to get comfortable with the movement and move towards that next skill. We were starting to feel good, so it was time to add in the next 180 degrees and complete the rotation. So far, we had worked on the following: having the speed, being in that athletic stance, leaning forward, popping off the lip, and fluidly setting our rotation through our hips and our shoulders.
Adding the spin will feel good. Yeah. So
I need to go faster, so.
yes, speed is your friend. I hope you're recording. You know, we got the pop, we got the spin,
Leaning forward.
but we leaning forward, and like when we're completing the circle, like we're just continuing like the same things that we've been doing.
It was time to add in the last step, looking over our shoulder towards our landing.
And this one, you're just gonna exaggerate. Look over that shoulder.
By looking over our shoulder, it would help lengthen the amount of time spinning in the air in order to achieve a full 360 degrees. As we look around, it helps us spot and watch the landing.
Got all the steps to remember, but like if we're thinking about it and telling ourselves each little step, like hopefully it'll cement in our brains.
We headed to the bigger jumps to get a little more airtime for the 360.
A little bit bigger jump will help like just have more air time so we can actually get that full rotation. It's definitely harder to get it on a smaller jump because you're just rotating so quickly, you're not worried about all the little steps. So, majestic jumps, they look beautiful, nicely well lit.
Majestic.
Perfectly. And we're gonna send it.
Of course, it has to be really under the lift this time.
Before we start though, I do want to touch on an important part of the entire process: the mental game. While you might have the physical skills, your mental state has more impact on your abilities than you think. If you're worried about what others will think, you'll get in your own head. And also, it doesn't really help that most parks are under the lift, and it's scary to have everyone see you potentially fail. To get over these mental blocks, I really like to envision myself being successful, thinking about my actions leading up to the feature, what I'm doing in the air, and especially how I'll feel after I've landed. Combine this with the skills, and we're headed in the right direction.
Got it. We're not just gonna send it. We've got all the skills, we've got the confidence. I think you're gonna do it.
Me too.
I don't think, I know.
And remember, it all does take practice to get comfortable. Sometimes you won't get it on the first or second or even sixth try, and it can be really disheartening. But you're out there, trying something new, pushing yourself and your skills.
And that one, it seriously was like,
What are you trying to do?
you got 90 more degrees and like you'll land it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so close. You
We're
are
gonna
gonna
do it
it.
360.
You're gonna speed, we're gonna lean forward, we're gonna pop,
We're gonna look,
land.
land.
That was awesome, dude.
And after just a half day of working on 360s, Katie was able to put one to her feet.
You wanna watch it?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so psyched.
While her measure of success may not be the same as someone else's, she still completed all of the steps, and I'm so proud of her for stepping out of her comfort zone and trying something new. The last tip that I'll leave you with is to not be afraid to get footage. Rewatching clips of your attempts can really help put the pieces of the puzzle together.
All right, we just had a great day in the park. Alpha Gal takes on Brighton Park. Katie did amazing. Like, we started this morning, her going right.
Wait, you spin to the right.
Yes.
All right.
And she just did a left 360. And I think she did amazing, and with more practice, I think nail it down if you want, but if not, it's okay too. How do you feel? You feel good?
I feel good. Definitely a lot of times I didn't think I could bring it all the way around, but pretty excited with where we ended up.
We were talking at the top of the park, like how much of it really is mental. Like, we may have practiced the skills, we may have practiced the drills, but a lot of it is just making sure you commit to it and believing in yourself, like believing that you can bring it around, visualizing yourself doing it. That is just as important as any of the skills you might have. So Katie did amazing. Thanks so much to Katie for level 9, and good luck with your 360s. Nice. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out my Instagram and TikTok at AJ Cutler. And check out Level 9 at Level 9 Sports on Instagram. Thanks so much for watching. Keep on crushing.
I'm gonna pin smack into you anyway.
About how
Definitely what I'm